Well, hello, Caribbean family, and once again, welcome to another episode of the Enlightened Path. I am your host, Hadassah. I'm a life coach and I'm a hypnotherapist, and this channel is all about helping you to become your best self. So, today, in alignment with that, we're going to be talking about attachment styles. But before I dive into today's topic, guys, I want to say a big shout out to all those who reached out to me, all those who messaged me, called me last week about the episode and how much they enjoyed it and how much they were able to reflect. So if you haven't watched last week's episode, we talk about relationships, we talk about karmic relationships, and we talk about soulmate relationships. And I think a lot of people really gravitated to that because they were able to identify with one or the other or both in certain circumstances. I just also want to say to you, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, kindly do subscribe. This is how you show your support to me. And if you have watched the episode and you feel like if that there's somebody who can potentially benefit from it, don't be greedy. Share the information so that we all can grow together in love. Also, comment. I would like to hear from you. I'm talking all the time, but I don't get to hear from you. Comment your thoughts. Comment what you think about the video. Comment if you agree, if you disagree. It doesn't matter. We're all here to learn, right? This is the journey of learning and growing. It doesn't really matter. So whatever you feel, or if you feel like you want to add to what I'm saying, just go ahead and add. I'll feature it in the next. If there's something that you think can be added, I'll feature it in the next video. It doesn't matter. I'm just building community where we all can learn and grow together. Yes. So this week, like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about attachment style. Now, there's this psychologist by the name of John Bowlby. So he developed the theory of attachment style from monitoring children from the age of 0 to 5. Now, what he's saying is that within that age range, the type of relationship that was developed by the primary caregiver and the child is how that child attaches romantically to a person and even friendships. It's basically saying this is how they show up. These are some of the common tendencies that they will portray based on this the earliest years of nurturing. Now, a woman by the name of Mary Ainsworth, what she did, she expanded that theory. And what we find coming out of that is that there are 4 attachment styles. Now, today, what we're going to do, the objective of this podcast today is to give you an introduction into attachment style, as well as speak about secure attachment. Now, there's 4 types of attachment. There's a secure attachment, there is the anxious attachment, there is the dismissive avoidance attachment style, and then there's the disorganized attachment style. Primarily what they're saying is we all fall into one or more of these categories. So if you have ever wondered like how some people are able to navigate relationships while others have a challenge with connection and trust, if you've ever wondered that, or even yourself, why is it other people are able to navigate relationships so well and I am just unable to do that? Now, if you have ever asked yourself that question, then this entire series is for you. It's going to be a 4-part video. So we're gonna cover the entire March speaking about attachment style and in detail. Now, on completion of the entire series, I'm sure you will be able to learn more about your attachment style. And what I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to identify the attachment styles that you can potentially have. I'm going to tell you how it can show up, and I'm going to also teach you some of the things that you can do to help you, because attachment styles are not permanent. They're not a death sentence or anything like that. You can change that. You can make the decision today to change your attachment style and do so effortlessly. It's very, very simple. Now, the secure attachment is the most healthiest and the most balanced attachment style. Now, what happens was when these children were in their earliest years, their caregiver was very, very attentive to their needs. They understood they understood the needs of the child, and they were giving it to them. Not only were they giving it to them, they were giving it to them consistently, on a consistent basis. They know what the songs mean. They were very nurturing. They were very supportive. They were very gentle. They were very caring. So once Bobby is saying, and Mary Ainsworth as well, right? Because she actually endorsed what he said and expanded it. So what they're both saying is that once a child in that environment of where that environment of safety was created for that child, they will develop a very, very, very secure attachment when they're attaching to when they're attaching romantically, as well as when they're attaching to their friend. Let's examine what that looks like. How do you know if you have a secure attachment? Okay, so someone who has a secure attachment feels very, very comfortable with intimacy, but also enjoy their independence. Let me break that down a little. So you're comfortable in the arms of someone or in the support of someone, being close to somebody, but you are also very much happy when you are by yourself. A lot of people feel comfortable with someone around, but when it's time for them to be by themselves, it's a big issue. All right, that is signs of what a secure attachment does not look like. Now, in a secure attachment, someone is able to express their needs clearly and also listen to their partner's needs. So some people are very good at expressing their needs down to a T. I can express my needs so clearly, but am I capable of listening to the need of someone else? That is where we lack. That's where we realize that we're not so secure in our attachment. And then there's the other aspect where some people are able to listen to the needs of others and give them exactly what they want. But on the flip side, they are still afraid, or they don't know how to clearly express their own needs. Another sign of secure attachment is that these individuals handle conflict in a calm and constructive way. It's not disruptive. It's not manipulative. They handle conflict very calmly. They respond calmly, and they look for the most constructive way to deal with that situation. That is someone who has a secure attachment. Mind you, don't take the calmness for granted, because these individuals can set healthy boundaries. Not only can they set healthy boundaries for themselves, they are able to respect the boundaries of others. So you got some people, they can set healthy boundaries, yes, but they cannot respect boundaries of other people. Or on the flip side, right, they cannot set healthy boundaries for themselves, but they're able to respect other individuals' boundaries. Now, we want to say the secure attachment encompasses both, right? I think the next thing I want to add to the secure attachment is that they trust others. They trust others. They're open, and they don't assume the worst. Like, oh my God, the worst is going to happen. Let me prepare for the worst. Oh, all men cheat, so I'm just going to prepare for when he is doing that. Or all women cheat, so I'm just going to prepare for. No. In a secure attachment, there's trust. And that trust allows your partner to be themselves. They feel most happiest and safest when they are with you, because there's that factor of trust that you have. It's easy for them to be themselves. It's easy for you to trust them, because that is the dynamic of your attachment style. One of the things I'm not about to do, I'm not about to tell you all what a secure attachment style look like without telling you, if you don't have that attachment style, it is okay. Like I mentioned earlier, this is not a death sentence. This is not a life-threatening disease. This is not permanent. So the very first step, guys, I gotta tell you, when I learned about attachment style, it literally created a major shift inside of me. And I had an unhealthy attachment style. My partner at the time had an unhealthy attachment style, and I didn't know what was happening. The relationship was just not working out. Now, one of the things that you have to do when you are trying to shift to a healthy attachment style, let's say you have some of those things, some of those qualities that I mentioned that encompasses a healthy attachment style, but a few things are still missing. One of the very first things that you need to do is to start with self-awareness. You have to become aware of self. First, recognize. I'm going to also show you what you can do as well, apart from these video series that I'm going to be making for the month of March. I'm going to lead you to some quizzes and so on that you can do to check your attachment style. Now, but one of the very first thing is self-awareness. That, wait, hold up, I may have a problem. Maybe it's not the other person. Maybe it's me. Maybe I am not whole enough. So let me take a back. Let me just take a back seat here and see what is happening. That is called self-awareness. And that is the first step to recognizing where you are and where you need to go. Self-awareness, it means therefore that you always take a step back. Whenever there's conflict or whenever there is strong emotions that continues to show up, you take a step back. You take a step back and make a decision about how you want to proceed, in what direction you would like to go in. So you always have to stay at the seat of self, according to Michael Singer. Right? You always want to be in that sense of awareness, because you now have to be like a hawk, monitoring your thoughts, monitoring your actions. You become an observer of self. So that is the first step you need to do. And you need to focus on all of your responses. How do I respond to this? How am I responding? Can I respond better? So that is number one step. The second and the most important one for me is emotional regulation. Because in an unhealthy attachment style, the emotions are always running wild. The emotions are running wild because the mind is running wild, and it's not running wild in a positive direction. Okay? Because we all know that the things we think about create the feelings inside of us. All right? So you want to be able to understand what your triggers are, what your insecurities are. And you need to find ways to emotionally regulate yourself. Do not engage. When you realize that you are in the heightened state or in the heightened situation, do not engage. Do not engage nobody. As a matter of fact, some people go silent, where they shut down and they don't know what to say. Now, the best thing to do when you find that your emotions are a little heightened, it's to say to your partner, or say to your friend, or say to that family member, can you give me a few minutes? Sometimes it can be a few hours. Sometimes it can be a few days. But do not respond. Do not respond in an emotional way, because that would just be you feeding the insecurities inside of you. One of the things you can do is just take a few deep breaths. I do that all the time. Once I'm able to regulate, there is There is a breath that works very well to balance you out. It's called straw breaths, where you breathe in deep breaths through your nose, and you make your mouth like this, and you breathe out as slowly as possible. That calms you down in 5 minutes instantly. Everybody I've known to do this modality, it has worked. Now I gotta tell you, you have to fight yourself. If you have an unhealthy attachment style, one of your major blocks is communication, and you want to always be able to express yourself in a healthy way. Now, sometimes you get hit, boom, you don't know what to do. Like I keep saying, take a step back and express yourself. Not express yourself with what you think is happening. Express yourself with only facts. Right now, I feel like we are not in the best place to have this discussion. Nothing is wrong with what you're saying. I'm just telling you maybe a technique. Nothing is wrong with what you are saying. However, I feel like now is not the best time for us to discuss it. I need to process how I'm feeling about this. So you have to communicate that. It means you have to always balance yourself, because what usually happens is we function on autopilot. A lot of things is so deep rooted in the subconscious. We function and we don't even know how we're functioning. And then we blame others for how they are, not realizing that we have an unhealthy attachment style that is governing the way in which we behave, right? And it's governing the way in which we function. It's governing the way in how we show up. And we want to change that today. Guys, it was such a pleasure doing this episode, to tell you the truth. Who knows me knows this is very dear and true to my heart. So to wrap things up, today we explored the foundations of attachment theory. And if you are lucky enough to have a secure attachment, I didn't have it. I didn't have a secure attachment, and it was wild, okay? So if you are lucky to have a secure attachment, I would like to encourage you to hold on to it, honor it. That's really amazing. And I'm sure you are enjoying healthy relationships. You may even be able to recognize from what I just discussed only like your partner, your friends, or family members that may have unhealthy attachment style. But don't worry, it's nothing to worry about. You can change that. You can decide how you want to show up today. Go and do the work and make that change from whatever attachment style that you may have. Over the upcoming weeks, I'm going to delve into all the other attachment styles. If you have made it to the end of this video, I want to give you a big thumbs up, big up yourself, because next week we are going to be covering anxious attachment style. Ladies, saddle up. You're going to be in for a treat. That's all for me for this week, guys. And I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, I'm Hadassah, and I'm your enlightenment coach, so that you can stay on the enlightened path. See you again next week. Love you guys so much. Goodbye.